In September 1991, Metallica didn't just play a concert, they stepped into history. Live in Moscow in 1991 is remembered as one of the largest and most intense metal performances ever recorded. Over 500,000 people gathered in a country that had only recently emerged from decades of restriction. This wasn't just about music. It was about freedom, noise, and a cultural shockwave colliding at full volume, captured forever on camera. The concert took place shortly after the collapse of the Soviet Union. For decades, Western music had been restricted, censored, or outright banned. Suddenly, that wall was gone. The event was part of the Monsters of Rock festival, officially organized as a celebration of youth and unity. But symbolically, it meant much more. A generation that grew up without access to heavy music was finally hearing it live, loud, and without limits. Metallica shared the stage with AC/DC and Pantera, but their performance became the defining moment of the day. The band was touring the Black Album, already pushing them into global superstardom. James Hetfield commanded the stage with authority, Lars Ulrich drove the tempo relentlessly, and the crowd responded with an energy that felt almost uncontrollable. Military helicopters hovered above while soldiers struggled to manage a sea of people stretching beyond the horizon. The scale of the audience was almost impossible to comprehend. Estimates range from 500,000 to over 1 million attendees. Many in the crowd had never experienced a live concert before, let alone a metal show of this magnitude. The atmosphere was raw, chaotic, and electric. There was no barrier between performer and history, just sound, movement, and pure release. Quick pause, this part is short, but before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the time and effort that goes into creating these metal videos. All right, let's continue. From a technical standpoint, the show was far from perfect. The sound system strained under the sheer size of the open-air venue. Audio levels fluctuated, and echoes bounced endlessly across the field. But those imperfections became part of the experience. The aggression still cut through, and the rough edges only amplified the feeling that something uncontrollable was happening. The camera work mirrored that intensity. Handheld shots, fast cuts, and wide crowd angles created a sense of urgency and instability. The visuals weren't polished, they were alive. The setlist leaned heavily on slower, crushing tracks like Enter Sandman, Creeping Death, One, and Harvester of Sorrow. Songs that translated perfectly to the massive space and allowed the crowd to move as one enormous body. For Metallica, Moscow '91 marked a turning point. It proved that heavy metal wasn't confined to clubs, countries, or cultures. It was soundtracking a historical transition. One of the most striking images from the footage is the presence of the military. Soldiers stand stiff and expressionless while absolute chaos unfolds around them. Over time, bootleg recordings and official releases turned Live in Moscow '91 into a near-mythical event. Metallica Live in Moscow '91 stands as a reminder of how powerful live music can be when it arrives at exactly the right moment in history. Lastly, I want to know, do you guys prefer Moscow '91 or Seattle '89? Personally, Seattle '89 is the best live album ever. That's why we'll make a video about it. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed this short journey through metal, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you directly support the research and work behind these videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next chapter.